Are you a cat lover who loves the idea of owning your own cat cafe? Then this is the podcast for you. Join me, Angeli Rodriguez, owner of the Woody Whisker Cat Cafe and author of the book Drinks and Whiskers, as I walk you through my tips and tricks to help you open a successful cat cafe. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Drinks and Whiskers podcast, the place to be to get the inside scoop on what it's like to open and run a successful cat cafe. I'm your host, Angeli Rodriguez, and today we're going to be talking about forming relationships with the rescue organizations. This question topic comes from Kat Thompson, and Kat writes, what sorts of concerns did you encounter with rescue organizations, and how did you address them? What sorts of resources are they generally willing to offer up? And what sorts of issues have come up with the cats and doctors? And how have you worked with the rescue to address them? So first of all, excellent questions, Kat, and thank you for asking them. As a small business owner, creating and maintaining good business relationships is crucial to keeping your operations smooth. You want to find a rescue that is established enough to be able to keep you stocked up with cats, but still small enough that it could benefit from a partnership with a cat cafe. For example, when I first started, I tried reaching out to some larger rescues that had access to many cats, but they didn't know who I was and weren't interested in learning more about cat cafes because they already had, number one, a large space to house their animals, and number two, enough local recognition to get financial support and adopters for their cats. I also tried reaching out to some smaller rescues that I had enjoyed following on social media at the time. And by small rescue, I mean a one-woman show type rescue where all the kitty cats were housed in one house. Unfortunately, smaller rescues might not work because they didn't have enough resources to provide the minimum number of cats that I needed to have in a fully stocked cat lounge. And for reference, I was asking to maintain 20 cats in the cat lounge at a time. You want to find a Goldilocks rescue, so one that's just right. The rescue I work with now has been around in one form or another for over a decade. They're well established, but still small enough that they see value in partnering with a cat cafe. The rescue has several volunteers that help foster cats in their homes, but they don't have a physical building. So they benefit from our large space that can house and showcase up to 20 healthy cats. Once you find an organization that is willing to work with you, you should try and figure out what each of you will provide. Some things to think about, and this is not a comprehensive list by any means, but you should think about who is paying for food, who's going to pay for the litter, who's paying for the vet care, who's paying for medications, what happens when a cat gets sick, and who's managing the adoption process. These are details that should be hammered out before bringing the cats to the cafe. The last thing you need is for the rescue to take their cats away in a huff over a disagreement, leaving you with no cats and unhappy customers. Because what is a cat cafe without cats? Just a cafe. You will want to discuss and agree on proper cleaning protocols. Cleaning protocols are very important because that's what's going to maintain a nice space and healthy animals. There's some great cleaning products out there that are less chemically, more, environmentally friendly, but they can be a little bit pricey. And there's also some great cleaners that may not necessarily be safe to use around animals. So my advice to you, don't commit to using products that may be outside of your budget. Just do your best to find a happy medium that's good for your budget, but that also works for the animals and that your rescue agrees with as well. Make sure that you and your rescue discuss emergency evacuation measures for whatever dangers you have in your area. For example, I live in Florida, and the big thing here is hurricanes. But your area might have something different, be floods, tornadoes, earthquakes. Whatever it is, have a plan so that the cats aren't left behind in a bad situation. If there's one thing that's good about hurricanes, not that there's anything good about hurricanes, but at least we get a really good heads up of sometimes, a week or more. So we know ahead of time the days that we may have to shut down And we have an emergency protocol and enough carriers on site so that in case there's any type of emergency situation, we just have we get some of the volunteers from the rescue and myself, and we'll just load the cats up in the cars and take them to a safe. So that's our emergency process. Um, so I, at the Woody Whisker, we work with one nonprofit rescue at a time. While we've had some wonderful rescues reach out to us in the hopes of a collaboration, I have found that it's a lot easier to keep track of everything with just one rescue. And it's a lot easier when that rescue is local. Um, so as a cat cafe, we function as a large foster for the rescue. So we take in the cats that are healthy so that they can focus on getting more cats off the streets. We pay for food and litter for the cats at the cafe, but the rescue pays for any medicine, vaccines, and veterinary care for the cats since they are technically the owners of the cats until they're adopted out. If a cat gets sick in our care, we follow the following protocol. If the illness is not contagious and something simple that can be taken care of with oral or topical medications, the rescue gives us the medicine and we treat in-house. Some examples of this are like if a cat has some allergies, or if they have hairballs, or if they're having, a little bit of diarrhea, or maybe a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, we'll treat them in-house. However, if the illness is contagious to other animals or people, the rescue removes the cat from the cafe to treat in a contained environment. So some examples of this are ringworm, which is a fungus that can affect animals and people. It is very contagious. And since it's a fungus, it's spread by spores. So it's very difficult to kill. And if we see a cat with ringworm, we immediately remove it from the cat cafe, and then we do a deep clean and or open the next day to the public. Another example of something that we would have to remove the cat for is like an upper respiratory infection. So if you have a cat that's coughing, those are very, very contagious as well. And it's just better for everybody if the cat is just removed from the facilities and can be returned once they feel better. As for adoptions, I help facilitate the adoption process by showcasing the cats in the cafe, in the nice cat room, and we post about them online. And our rescue partner processes all the applications. They're the ones that have the final say on who is adopted out, to whom. All of the adoption fee goes to the rescue. We do not take a piece of it. And the adoption contract is between the adopter and the rescue. So the Cat Cafe has really nothing to do with the adoption process itself, other than helping people figure out what the process is and helping them, go to the right website and get it all filled out. But the rescue is the one who's in charge of determining who gets the cat. We really like this setup because it keeps us as a neutral party, and then we don't get involved in any of the disappointment or, if anybody's fighting over a cat or wants to have a cat, it's out of our hands. We always tell them that it's the rescue. So we function as a buffer for the rescue, and we just tell people it's not up to us who is chosen. We also provide the customer with a fun adoption experience. So they get to come to a gorgeous little cafe, grab a coffee, pick up their kitty cat, get a picture taken. If we get permission, we'll post that on online on our social media, and people really like that. They have a nice little memory of picking up their new little member of the family. So it's a wonderful experience for everybody. Once a cat is adopted, the rescue usually has the cat ready to come in. So it's usually a really nice revolving door, which helps keep us at 20 cats, which gives a really good ratio in our particular cat room. If there are any issues with the cat after adoption, the rescue handles those. Do we get calls at the cafe? Yes, but we always refer them back to the rescue because we're a facilitator. We are not adopting them out ourselves. That is the job of the rescue. And there you have it. So that's my advice for choosing and working with a rescue in your area. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions you would like for me to cover on the Drinks and Whiskers podcast, send me an email or leave a comment. And remember, if you have burning questions that you must have answered immediately, I'm also available for consulting calls. You can reach me at angeli@wittywhisker.com. Until next time. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Drinks and Whiskers podcast. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to like this episode, subscribe, and leave an honest review. If you want more information, you can purchase the Drinks and Whiskers book right now on Amazon.com, or you can reach me at Angeli@wittywhisker.com. Now it's time to get out there and start your cat cafe dream. How will you warm hearts with a drink and a whisker?